Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another week, another episode of hold on, Hypno News Live. Let me just make sure everything is running and rolling like it should be. One second. My apologies. Welcome to the show. There we are. All right, so here we are on Hypno News Live once again. This is the show where each week Grant Saunders and I bring you the latest in hypno news. That's right, we're covering news, hypnosis in the news, hypnosis conferences, what else? Pro tips and funny stories. So if you would like to help me out with any of those today, I really appreciate it. If you've got some hypno news, if you've got some conference talk, if you've got a pro tip or a funny story, please share it. You can even jump on the live with me here right now because Grant Saunders is on assignment, so he is not with us today. We're also going to talk about a couple of products that I think are super awesome. And so with that, hey, who's watching right now? I see there's a few of you watching. Where are you watching from? Let me know in the live chat. Yeah, there it is. Drop it down in the live chat. So first news is this weekend. If you're not there, hey, Dennis Ridgway, good to see you, buddy. If you want to jump on the live, just let me know. I'll shoot you out an invite. Hey, Sean. Hey, Sean, if any of those, Sean had offered to give me some organizational tips because it is my biggest struggle in life, really. If any of those are appropriate to share with the audience, Sean, you are welcome to jump on. Just let me know if you want to do that. We'll talk about that. So please drop a comment if that's the case. So, yes, this weekend is the Mid-America Conference, which you probably already know. Dr. Richard Nongard has taken that over, and I'm sure he's doing an awesome job. I was scheduled to be there, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it. Too many other things got in the way of that. I'm really disappointed. Have you gone before? Drop a comment if you've gone before. I'd love to know what it's like. And if any of you are there this weekend and you want to jump on the live next week with us, you are welcome to do that. We would love to have somebody come on and tell us what it's like going to the Mid-America Hypnosis Conference. I'm not going to share the link to that this week because if you didn't sign up, it's probably too late to speak. Although you could still attend, of course. All right, Sean's going to jump on in about 10 minutes, and he's going to share some organizational tips or whatever he likes to do. So speaking of conferences, we have got some really cool stuff going on right now. If you can, I don't know if you can see that in the background. You've probably seen it before. I always like to keep that highlighted. This is the award. Oh, by the way, speaking of conferences, one of my favorite conferences right there. I'm representing the Michigan Hypnosis Conference right there, the Michigan Hypnosis Conference. I got to tell you, so I've gone for the first 2 years. It's been an amazing experience. Connie Jo Holmes, who will be doing the keynote speech, the opening keynote speech next year, 2024, she described it as meaningful. That's what she said. And I thought that was just a really awesome thing to say. And it really was. It's very intimate. And Dan Goyette gives out the best prizes. He gives out the best swag. Him and Heather Campbell give out the best swag. This is some of the swag. We also get backpacks and all that kind of stuff, and feeds you really well too. So I highly recommend you check that out. And that is the MichiganHypnosisConference.com. Brother Grant Saunders is not here this week, Brian. He's out on assignment. Let's see here. So Michigan Hypnosis. All right, so MichiganHypnosisConference.com is where you're going to go to sign up to be a speaker for next year. I was going to show you. That's right, I was going to show you. So Grant Saunders and I, we started the Performing Hypnosis Summit last year. This is the only event, summit, conference that is just for performing hypnotists. And we were supported greatly by Paul Ramsey and Sean Kostiak. So we share that prize with all four of us. Really share that prize, but I keep it right here on my shelf. Colin, how are you, Colin? Mr. Colin Chapman, hanging out today. So anyway, highly recommend you check out the Michigan Hypnosis Conference. I'm also on the board there, so I'm a little bit biased probably, but it really is. It's a great, great conference to go to. Now, speaking of great conferences, the Heartland Conference also is accepting applications right now, submissions. So Michigan Hypnosis Conference, Heartland Hypnosis Conference, Heartland Hypnosis Conference.com. Hey, who's got some Hypno news this week? If you get some Hypno news and you're watching, drop a link down there. I didn't actually get any Hypno news this week. I dropped the ball. I was going to do that, and then but I've got a lot of conference talk that I'm going to talk about instead. As I said, so one of the things, I do want to let, Sean and Brian are both watching. I should let you guys know we're not doing Hypnosis Hero tomorrow because I dropped the ball, did not find a guest. If you're out there, if you want to be a guest, drop me a line. Hypnosis Hero happens on 7:30 p.m. Pacific on the second and fourth Fridays of every month. So please let us know if you'd like to come on there. We just chat about hypnosis, and then we do some hypnosis demonstration. So it's a lot of fun for people. People love to watch that hypnosis through the screen. That's what I was going to say. So one of the things that I want to talk about today, speaking of the Mid-America, let's go back. Boy, I should have had an agenda written up for this. I'm all off track. I go everywhere. That's okay. Most of us are like that because we're weirdo people in this field. So if you're watching this, you're probably one of them as well. So was it Sean? You could be right. You know what? You're right. Sean, thank God Sean's here. You know, I mean, Sean is the tech guy. He's the co-host. He really keeps things going. It's the second and fourth. Sean, you're absolutely right. So Hypnosis Hero is actually next Friday. So we didn't drop the ball. We will be going live next Friday. We'll surely have a guest by then. I know Sean's working on a couple of people. I've got a couple of people getting back to me as well. So we'll definitely make that happen. All right. So going back to Mid-America, can we just restart this whole damn episode? This is what happens when the Brit isn't here. You know, he's here with his, keeping things together. He does. Keeps me straight. All right. So one of the reasons I want to talk about the Mid-America Conference, because it's going to be awesome. And it is so Richard Nongard took that over from, I'm not sure, Carm and or Karen. Yeah, great. You know her. She's the one. All right. Anyway. I know her name, but it's just escaping me. If you know her name, drop it down below. I believe it's Karen is the first name, but I can't. I want to say it's 3 names. Damn. I really just want to go somewhere and take a nap or something. All right, so here we are. It's we're talking about Mid-America. Richard Nongard. Because one of the reasons I want to talk about this that conference is because I also want to talk about his book today. Who's read this book? Who has this book? This is gigantic. It is a fantastic book. If you're in the field of hypnosis, NLP, you got to get this book. It's called Excellence in NLP and Life Coaching. How to structure success and create influence at the expert level. And if you hold on, I'm going to share the link for you. If you know Richard Nongard, I swear, guys, I think everything he touches just turns to gold. I've taken his write a book in 13 weeks. I've taken up several of his courses. I mean, it really just seems like really everything he does seems. Now, I'm sure he's had his setbacks just like the rest of us, but it sure seems like he's just killing it on all fronts. So, yeah, it's so check out that book. And really, I gotta say, if you haven't written a book and you'd like to, go check out his book too. It's what is the I'll get you the link in just a minute. It's if you follow him, I'm sure you've seen it. If you're on his list, he's surely told you about it. Um, let's see, 13 is it 13-week book? Is that what it's called? Let's find out together. Now you see, usually, so when we do Hypnosis Hero, Sean is in the background grabbing all of these links because he's a badass. And this is what happens when I'm left doing things on my own. Let's see. it's 12 weeks. That's why, everybody, it's 12 weeks. Of course, it's not 13 weeks. Richard Nongard does it quicker. That's what she said. Let's see, where can we, there, we're going to drop that link down below. There it is. All right, so yeah, grab, if you haven't written a book and you want to write a book, definitely take the book. He takes you through every little, every part of the book. I mean, from beginning to end. I mean, from, the outline to where to go to get it edited, where to go to get it formatted, everything. I'm dropping a link down to this book. Please do be aware that, yes, both Grant and I are Amazon affiliate folks, so we do get a small commission if you decide to purchase from the link that we share. Always appreciated, but we'll never share anything that we don't actually like. So there it is. So the reason I like this book is because it is thorough and encompassing. It has got submodalities. It's got circle of power. It's got the Milton model. I mean, it has got everything you could possibly want to know. I think it's a great reference. Sometimes you've got a client appointment coming up and you want to look through this and just kind of get a refresher on what kind of stuff you might want to use with your client. I think it's a great tool for that. And again, I mean, really, I swear everything he touches just turns to gold. Taking a few of his classes and stuff like that. Always good stuff. And so let's see. Sean, you're going to let me know when you're ready to jump on. That will be great. Dennis Ridgway had an idea. He mentioned that we should put together something, maybe on Hypno News, for the future of hypnosis. Now, if you were at the Michigan conference, that was the theme. In fact, that was my keynote speech, was the future of hypnosis. And then we did some board talks about, panel talks about the future of stage hypnosis. And we may visit that a little bit at the Performing Hypnosis Summit. And Dennis thought we might want to touch on that here on Hypno News. We may do that. What do you guys think? Would you want to do, what about a discussion group or something? Maybe at the summit, the Performing Hypnosis Summit, we could put together some kind of a discussion group about the future of stage hypnosis. I think that'd be interesting. Yeah, drop a comment. Yes, no, buzz off, whatever. And which brings me to the fact that we are currently accepting submissions for the Performing Hypnosis Summit. And Performing Hypnosis Summit.com. And of course, Colin Chapman was a speaker. He did a couple of talks last year for the summit. Really good stuff. Very popular. Hopefully he'll join us again. Let's see. I'm going to get Sean on here in a second. Sean, the link is coming. There it is. There's your link, Sean. Grab it whenever you can. If anybody else wants to join us, you're welcome to join us as well. So I just put the link down there for Performing Hypnosis Summit. Let me tell you a little bit about that. I've got the hotel code. I just have to go dig that out of the emails. I'm going to share all the important links this week. We're also going to send out an email. We've already had Kevin Lapine, is going to be on. Well, actually, we haven't notified the people that they're accepted, so I shouldn't say the other names. We've got some other really big names that are coming for this. They're going to be out in Vegas. Some of these folks are going to be out in Vegas. All the Vegas headliners, I think a lot of them are going to show up. So if you're able to make it out to Vegas, that's the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of February. You definitely want to be there in person. Now, if you can't, some people, I mean, if you're in some faraway place or you can't travel, something like that, then of course, we'd still love to see you there on the online version. Now, we haven't got that completely worked out. We do know that a lot of it will be broadcast live. And so you'll be able to see that in Vegas or online. Some of it's not going to be available online. We've got some things that are not going to be available. We're going to let you know upfront some things just are not going to be available. So if you're able to, we really, really, really want to see you out in Vegas. Super affordable, $100 right now, less than $100 right now to attend online. Less than $200 if you want to join us in Vegas, but those prices will be going up. For folks that were VIPs last year, as you know, we didn't get the recordings done quite right, so you did get a free ticket this year, and that is for the free online version. If you want to upgrade to join us in Vegas, we will have an option for that, so we'll be in touch with that. Colin asked, "Is that a technical thing?" Partially yes, partially no. We do want to make some stuff kind of a premium for folks that want to come out to Vegas, and so. And again, none of this is figured out completely yet, but we're probably not going to broadcast the roundtable. Now, part of that is for technical reasons, but part is because we want that to be kind of a bonus for folks that do make the trip out to Las Vegas. And I don't know what else. It's just, you know what it is. Here's the thing. You have the opportunity to come and shake hands with some of the Vegas headliners, some of the headliners that you know and love. I don't know what Colin's LOLing about, but what did I say that was funny? I don't know. Anyway, so we've got some stuff that, wait, what's that say? I'm going to talk about. So Dennis still wants to talk about the future of stage hypnosis. So anyway, where is Sean? Sean, come join me. What's going on? Maybe I'll message him. So what else? What do you guys got going on? Colin, you got some shows coming up? What are you doing? I know Colin's got some great shows coming up. I do want to mention also Hypno Thoughts Live. Now, this is important, guys. Super important. This is the big boy of all of the conferences. If you've ever been to Hypno Thoughts, you know that is true. Something like 600-700 people show up for that bad boy. And so you definitely want to come out for that if you're able to. Now, here's the great thing, too. We've got it 6 months apart. We scheduled the Performing Hypnosis Summit, htl.net. Is that what it is? I always get their website mixed up. Hypno Thoughts. So we purposely scheduled the Performing Hypnosis Summit for February because that's when a lot of us are free. Trying to get people to go to Hypno Thoughts. I talk to people and they'd say, well, I can't go to Hypno Thoughts because I've got shows during the summertime, fairs and stuff. And they couldn't come to the Pacific Northwest Hypnosis Conference because grad night stuff. Same thing with William Mitchell's conference, Heartland Hypnosis Conference, who also is accepting submissions right now. And so Grant and I said, hey, let's do something for the stage hypnotists when most of them are free. Now, we do have a few that are going to be on cruise ships, unfortunately, so they're not going to be able to join us. But really, like January, February are generally the slower months, if there are any, for us stage hypnotists. So that's why we're doing it then. Also, it's a nice time to be in Vegas, especially if you're living in a cold place like me or Dennis. Who else is watching? Sean, let's see. Let me drop it again. Shoot. I'll shoot it over to your messenger account, Sean. If you're in a cold environment, hey, that is the best time to be in Las Vegas. I say come and stay a week. That's what I'm going to do. Facebook, right. Where is he at? What are we doing here? And also, you're about 6 months away from Hypno Thoughts. So you could very reasonably do both pretty easily. Financially, well, hopefully, you could. It would be pretty reasonable to be able to do both conferences. And I sort of think, it's probably a good idea to do. I think it's good to do two. You got to do Hypno Thoughts. That's the big one. You have to do that. But then you should do maybe a niche, one of your niche. So if you're into dentistry, you should do the dentistry one. Or if you're want to hit a local one, that's a good idea. So two conferences at least a year. I go to several, but yeah. Hey, Colin asks a good question. Who here has joined Isha? So I just got my notification back that they're now accepting money. So yes, I just have to send my money in, and actually, as I'm looking at this, since they let Colin in, surely I don't want to join that organization. It must not be any good. Kidding, guys. Glad we're all going to be there together. Okay, one more thing before I bring the amazing Sean Kostiak in. Let's talk about a couple of tools that I think are super awesome. Speaking of a couple of tools, let's see. This is something that I discovered, and actually, this right here. Hey, Michigan, Dan, go ahead. I'm repping the conference today. There it is. So a couple things. So I don't know about you guys, but I oftentimes do I go to sleep with hypnosis or some kind of meditation on, and I found these online. They're available at Amazon. It turns out you can also get them made if you guys want to sell these. Rob DeGroof actually sells those, and so you can get them branded. But here's the great thing. If you've ever tried to listen to hypnosis as you're falling asleep, or if you're just lying down in the middle of the day, and you got these big boys on, like the clunkers, which I'll talk about a little bit later. The great thing about these is that they're flat, so they don't hurt your ears. I'm gonna put it on right now. Get ready, guys. Are you ready for this? God, they look awesome. Sweet, right? Oh yeah, there it is. So you got your controls right there, and it lays pretty flat. I like it a lot. And it's got it's rechargeable battery, and sometimes I take it on the plane, but not usually because I feel like a tool because it looks so funny on me. So I don't usually have that on. I'm going to share the link here in just a minute. I'm going to bring on Sean, the man, Captain. Sean Kostiak. Hello, sir.
Good evening, everyone. What do we know today?
Good to see you, my friend. What's that?
What do we know today?
I don't know. You're kind of talking in slow motion. Looks like we're
Am I?
watching one of those old kung fu movies. It's like, and then you talk.
Well, I've been there. It's dangerous, when you have to come and fight me. So,
Exactly. You're the big boss.
it's all good. Scott's saying the one with the chin strap actually stays on all night.
I haven't had a problem with these. They don't fall off me, but maybe I'm not a rough sleeper. Maybe Scott's going crazy there at night. So get a chin strap. I haven't even seen those. If you got a link for that, Scott, drop it down there. Actually, he's in sync for me now too. Probably an error on my end, I'm sure. Sean,
Just
as
my
you can see,
august presence
what's
joining
that?
you. It's just my august presence joining you.
Your august presence, indeed. As you can see, I can't live without you, Sean. I need you. So I'm glad you you were able to jump on right now and help us out. So Sean, tell me, you had some organizational tips and tricks you wanted to share.
Yeah, so, and a little bit of a backstory. I don't want to take everybody's entire evening away, but long story short, when I was 10 years old, I walked downstairs because it was my birthday. So this would be in the dead of winter on January the 17th. I won't say of what year, but I was about 10 years old and received from my dad a little desktop organizer. And in
Hmm.
those days, a little desktop organizer was like three kind of Lazy Susan trays that you could kind of spin out and you could put like your paper clips and all that kind of stuff in.
Oh yeah.
But at that time, and this is something that I didn't really quite understand, and I can see it now. At that time, I didn't realize that my dad was a recovering alcoholic, and I couldn't figure out why he was shaking, why he was apologizing, and why there was a bottle up in the light fixture.
Ah, so kind
So
of explains the organizer for a 10-year-old.
yeah, um, the notion though was that organization was really important.
Ah,
So that set me on a journey,
hmm.
and I was cured of that journey when I started a family. They weren't nearly as neat and organized as I, and they still aren't. Uh, Neat and organized as I am, but I had to be. I was a busy guy. Like even back then, as I uh, grew up, it was teaching and working at McDonald's. It was teaching and being the network administrator. It was doing this and doing that, and now it's being a consultant in the education system, being a hypnotist, and being a marriage commissioner, which I'll be doing my second wedding in a week, tomorrow night. So you have all this stuff that just it hits you from all different angles. And there was never really a great system that I found that kind of covered off what to do, how do you deal with all this information that's coming at you, all of that kind of stuff. And so what would happen is you get piles of paper, and I got piles of paper over here, and I got piles of paper over there, and I got piles of paper here, and it just, you could never find anything. So
Oh
what I
yeah,
had to do,
me too.
right on. I don't think I'm older than you though, Colin. Maybe I am.
What
I'm
what what's the birthday?
I know I'm over 50. Were they all yours, Dennis? That's the
Which
question.
that's right. They are all his own. So what is the birthday, Sean and
uh,
Colin?
January 17th for me is 1972.
Gotcha. So Colin must be the 20th. All right.
Yeah. Uh, there you go. I was right. They're all his own.
So you had all
And
these papers
yeah,
trying to
so
stay
you
organized.
wind up with piles of paper. You wind up with things that are disorganized. You've got 6 different notebooks on the go. You've got stuff all over the place. You're trying to figure out how the heck do you do what you need to do in order to survive the next day. And the solution, actually, I found is rather simple, and it's also hybrid. So it doesn't matter if you're a tech guy or not a tech guy, or if you want to just run it analog, old school with the equipment, you can absolutely do that. But it's based on the system, and it's the Getting Things Done system by Allen
Ah,
and David Allen. And
GTD.
yeah, and a lot of you'll find a lot of the to do apps and whatnot are out there now are actually based around his system.
Hmm.
They've incorporated some components of it, but the idea is it doesn't matter what's coming at you, it follows the same path. So you're either going to address it because it's something that you can quickly address, it's something that you can action later, so you record it and you action it later, or it's something that just gets tossed because it's not worth your time. And
Hmm.
optionally, if you have somebody else with you, you could delegate it. But I think, Jim, if you
Gotcha.
delegate too much to Maya, she probably will go back to eating pineapple on her pizza.
Right. Right.
So, but
She
that
probably
that's
gets stuff to me.
yeah, but the capture system is what's going to keep you sane. And for me, that capture system is almost 100% OneNote. Um,
Okay.
and think of OneNote as a digital notebook that you can construct in any way, shape, or form. You can mold it, you can shape it, you can move stuff around. But it is your digital companion for absolutely everything. If I'm taking notes, it's going into my OneNote. I can organize it. I can do the quick capture and organize it later, or I can say, okay, I'm doing it here, and I'm going to take these notes here. The cool thing is now with the tech that we have, if you're able to write on your screen with your finger or a stylus or something like that, it's just like writing on glass with a Sharpie.
Hmm.
So you can handwrite your notes. I don't suggest that unless you have neat handwriting, or neater than mine, because generally it can get away from you pretty quickly. But the idea is you can make a template, you can copy that template into whichever sections of your notebook you need, and it's the same thing. Okay, this is coming in. So, for example, tonight I have to, uh, on the hypnosis front, I have a client that I need to draft an email, make sure that they have all the information they need to place the order so that we can get started doing what they want to do. So I've got a template, and then some of that work isn't quite automated yet, which is the other key. The more you can automate, the better. But if you can't, as long as you've got the same steps that you're following, it just makes you more efficient. And I'll be honest, in order to implement a system like this, it's going to take a little bit of, it's like a train starting on the track. You put a penny on that track with the train trying to start, it ain't going anywhere. That same train that's going, 60 miles an hour on the track will essentially flatten that penny and carry on. So once you get momentum, though, it's actually it's a time saver, and it also is a way for you to do an information dump at the end of the day. And when you're at the end of the day, you're at the end of the day. That's it. You don't have to be thinking, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I should, but you don't have any place to write it, or it bugs you all night.
Hmm.
So what it does, though, physically, for the physical environment, is all of a sudden these piles of paper disappear.
Hmm.
And you can see, oh well, you know what, maybe I should move this over here and clean behind there. It's the first step in purging all the extra excess stuff that weighs you down, because we all know as hypnotists, environment matters. If you're
Really
stuck,
does.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you're stuck in a crap environment, it is really going to play with your head. So anything you can do to improve your environment, is a good thing.
Yeah. I got to say, Sean, I'm actually going in the opposite direction than that. And I'll tell you, so number one of the problems is I use like, over the years, I've got 5 or 6 different note apps. And I'm, and so just even the thought of, and I'm constantly trying out a new one. I've got Apple Notes, I've got Google Keep, I've got Google Tasks, I've got Apple Notes, Evernote. I did use OneNote for a while, and I wish there was a way to bring them all in together. Although I'd be overwhelmed because I've got stuff from 20 years ago in Evernote, but I can't seem to find a system that I like. And so I'm literally going back to paper. Like on my desk right now, I've got this big giant calendar, paper calendar, because I just it's like I don't know, maybe I'm just not with it enough. I think I really like to see stuff and hold stuff.
So, oh, there it is. There is
Yeah,
something about pencil and paper,
I
and
agree.
that's why when I was able to start writing on OneNote,
Hmm.
it was actually more of a joy to use, because you're always typing, typing, typing.
Yeah.
But when you can actually write on it, it's actually not so different from, well, in this case, pen and paper. But um, I found that as well, and over the years, depending on what I was doing and where I was, I did struggle with that. My issue with the desktop calendar, it's great to visualize, but when you
Mhm.
walk away from it, how do you know where you are?
Well, and this is one of the problems that I have now. Is it, or is it a problem? I don't know. So I do put them. I put them in my phone, so they go in Google Calendar. That's first thing, and then I'm putting them on the paper calendar, and then I have a great big wall calendar for the year, and I try to keep that. Then I update that because then I can see the whole year. Where am I
Yeah,
going to be in December? Like I'm scheduling a tour right now in the spring. So it really helps me to be able to go, okay, so I'm going to be there in the spring. I'm going to be at the Hypnosis Summit in February, that kind of a thing.
yeah, and that is probably the one thing that is easier to do with like a wall mount calendar or a great big desktop calendar, is to take a look and see, okay, what's booked and what isn't. And I'd be curious to Scott, you don't understand. Jim and I have this thing because, I was going to use a pencil one night, and he said no, it had to be a pen. I'd be curious to know after a while, Jim,
Yeah.
when you've mapped out your year, what does it actually look like to you? Are you purposely making sure that you take breaks from going on the road? Are you purposely making sure that you're building in additional family time? It's because I know this last year you've been really busy. Like you've been at
Yeah.
a lot of different conferences. You've started one,
Yeah.
two actually, and
Yeah.
that kind of busyness is all over the place. But once
Yeah.
you get that mapped out, what does that look like for you?
Well, Sean, that's a great point. And in fact, I have been trying to do that. Um, like before, I have actually been mindful of that. So I plan to spend like the week before each conference working on the conference, Pacific Northwest and performing, but then maybe a week before and then several days after the conference, taking some downtime because yeah, you're right. I mean, I burned out completely, had a really just awful experience because I just pushed myself too much. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so that those are things that when you get them, and again, it's a planning tool, right?
Yeah,
And that's the key. You have to start somewhere. I don't care if you start with a digital notebook, paper
yeah,
notebook, a wall calendar, a desk calendar, as long as you start somewhere,
yeah,
because eventually that will work to unravel everything,
yeah,
and it'll allow you the space to say, okay, wait a minute, I don't need this pile of paper here anymore. Oh, wait a minute, I can file this away.
yeah.
uh, and that's one thing. And I'll say this: this is my tech rant. The one thing that drives me absolutely bonkers is the 7 million icons that people have on their desktop. If you file it in a file folder, it doesn't go away. It's still there. So when you look
Yeah,
at my desktop, I have, being the PC guy that I am. Hang on here. I'll tell you exactly what I have on my desktop. I have this PC. I have the Sean Kostyuk folder. I have the recycle bin. And I have a file folder called My Action Items. And in my action item, and this is part of GTD, is what's actionable. Anything that has an action is in that folder.
hmm,
And if it's not in that folder, it's probably in linked in the OneNote. So it's keep the system tight as you're building it, and you'll find that you'll be able to um, start shifting the environment that you work in,
yeah,
and it'll go from a big mess to something a lot more organized. And you know what? As much as that's a tech rant, that's also a physical paper rant as well. There are file folders. You can, if you need to, get a filing cabinet or a desk drawer that handles your file stuff.
yeah,
You'll be able to find it. It's up to you how you build the system, as long as it
yeah.
works for you.
Yeah, I do need to get better at those piles. Those piles. I'm trying to. I got some file folders and a holder for them, and I got to get them filed away. It's always fun for. I got to tell you that I remember the first time I did that, and this was like 25 years ago. I finally put some files and file folders, and then I needed to find this insurance paper, and I went right to the file and found it. And I was like, oh my god, this is like a miracle because had never been the case in my life. Um, they call it a top because you're supposed to put things there.
Yeah, yeah. We wear top hats,
Top.
and nobody puts anything on there.
I love that idea too of like putting nothing on tabletops, countertops, desktops, anything, no papers. Amanda Melissa Dodd, hello, good to see you. So I'm constantly working on, and I'll tell you, I do like the electronic version of stuff. Because here's my paranoia is always, what if I lose my paper to do list or these files and stuff like that? But for some reason, man, I just can't. It just feels better. Like Scott says, the pencil and paper thing just feels better.
Yeah. But
So I'm
Jim,
trying that out.
when you were in school, what were you writing with?
Yeah, pencil and paper. Yeah,
Right. Um, the boomers that came before us would be almost exclusively
like
pencil and
chisel and
paper.
Like chisel
Yeah.
and marble. Yeah.
And before that, it would be like the slate with the rough chalk. You know,
Yeah.
it's the school system does something really really well, and it's that it drives home certain um, skills for
Yeah.
life, right?
Yeah.
And one of those skills that actually we don't explicitly teach anymore is handwriting,
Yeah.
because the kids know how to type. They know how to, they're faster at it with one thumb than I am with my entire keyboard. Sometimes
Hmm.
I can't say that they actually accurately spell everything, but they seem to have an abbreviation for absolutely everything, as long as you can get the gist of it, right? Um, all right, here's a good point.
Ah, that's great. Yeah, without breaking trance. Good. Good. Amanda, what kind of a system do you use? What kind of organizational system do you use? Are you pen and paper? Or are you um, electronic stuff? Or kind of alarm going off? Love to know. So, yeah, without breaking a trance, like that. Good stuff. Beats down individual expressions. Hmm. Yeah. All right.
So, Dennis, I'm assuming this is what you used when you were in school.
Stone and stick. Yeah. I didn't think writing had been invented yet, Dennis, but okay. Yeah.
Still pictographs, okay. Code of Hammurabi, perhaps.
And then Google. Yeah, I'm starting to move more towards just using Google for everything because it's all there. I
Again,
just started using Google Tasks.
yeah, keep it tight.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you had a bunch of different apps. Here's the problem with a bunch of, and this has been again one of my pet peeves as a tech guy. Look at the ecosystem. Apple has an ecosystem, but Apple relies on a whole bunch of third party apps. They don't inherently have a good system in and of themselves. So it lends to, I'll try this and I'll try this, and
Yeah.
it's I want it my way right away. And what happens is your stuff just gets spread out all over the place. Microsoft has taken the time, and especially since COVID hit, and they've really pushed it now with their Microsoft Teams and whatnot. But the app system that Microsoft has created is very tight. It is almost seamless, and I'm not getting any kickback from Microsoft here, but it is almost seamless,
Hmm.
and it's come a heck of a long way from the last 5 years. Um, so
Cool.
yeah,
I do
and
love the way it is funny how we've come all the way back to hieroglyphics.
yeah, and we had to, and here's the thing, like and I think Amanda hit it on the head back here. Writing is one of the things that we do well, but in writing, if we're full on writing, we're able to convey emotion. We're able to convey feeling and context. You can't do that in a 120 or 140 character text message. So the communication piece is huge, and when you're writing versus texting and whatnot, we need those emojis to create that extra context.
Yeah.
Paulette's joining us.
Nice to see you, Paulette. Um, Great. So next time when I talk about products, we'll talk about watches because some of you didn't know to get here earlier. All right, you know how to tell time. All right, hey Sean, thanks so much for being here. And
Yeah,
what I said about Hypnosis Hero not being on this week, that's right, it won't be on this week because it'll be on the second and fourth Friday. In fact, we've even talked about that. I got all mixed up, Sean. So I'm glad you set me straight. Trump seemed to be able to communicate a lot with emotion with 140 characters. Indeed, he did.
I think it was his extra hair. That's what it was.
Hey, everybody, give it up for Mr. Sean Kostiak for joining us on Hypno News Live. You'll also find him over on TikTok doing lives. Are you still doing lives with?
I am actually starting up. Chanel and I are going to be starting up as soon as the daylight savings time changes, and we're back to only about 6 hours between us. So
Fantastic. Always fun to watch that. And of course, catch him also on every second and fourth Friday for Hypnosis Hero. So thank you, Sean. We'll see you next time.
Absolutely. Bye, everybody.
All right, we've had a lot of fun over here today. I've got one more product I want to mention today. We're doing great over here. Thank you. Now, it's getting about time. Let's see here. Okay. So I mentioned earlier, and if anybody has organizational tips, please share them with me. I'm at a total loss. I've been reading all these books. The Marie Kondo book, which I found a little bit too weird for me. She talks about taking your clothes and holding them and feeling them and seeing if they, I don't know, they spark emotion or something. They don't spark anything for me. So I should just throw all my clothes away, I guess, except for this, the beautiful Michigan Hypnosis Conference shirt. Hello, Carolyn. Carolyn, I thought you were in Hawaii now. What happened? Did you move to Australia? You just go to all the great places, or are you just on vacation? So yeah, and then I read Fly Lady. You know, Fly Lady is a great book. She's got some great stuff. Yeah, exactly. Not bringing me joy, Joseph. So everything I should just throw it out because it's not bringing me joy. So if you have organizational tips, please share those with me. Carolyn moved. Wow, what a great life you're having, Carolyn. Seems like. But this, so I talked about this, the headband. If you listen to hypnosis as you're going to sleep or just laying down in the afternoon, this is a great headband. The link is up there. Again, I am an affiliate, Amazon affiliate, so I do get a small commission. This, though, if you're going on airplanes and if you're a stage hypnotist, we're flying all the time. And if you want to be able to not hear the babies, not hear the people snoring and all this nonsense, these bad boys right here, these are Beats by Dre. These babies kick butt. They're really awesome. Noise canceling. Funny thing the other day, my wife's trying to talk to me, and she had a friend had to come out in front of me and wave because I didn't even hear her. Because I'm actually, what I like to listen to is I put on YouTube. So when I'm working, I like to I put on like a nice scene. I'll actually put on. You have all these great things where you can be at a beach scene in Hawaii, for instance, or drone footage, or even a fireplace. And so I'll put that on and then put this on, and then I can hear like the nature sounds or the fireplace or whatever while I'm working. So she has to come up and wave her hands because I literally did not hear her. So these are really fantastic. I'm going to put the link in here. Again, I'm an affiliate. I have an affiliate. I'll never recommend anything that I don't personally like. So pick those up if you want to be able to do some noise canceling. Scott says, just hang everything backwards and set a reminder for 6 months. Yeah, that was one of the things too that was mentioned in one of the books. And yeah, I just want to throw everything away. Terry, good to see you. Terry, I was so sad to see that you're saying that you're in stage 4 cancer. I'm really sorry to hear that, buddy. I hope that you are doing well, fighting it, beating it, coping with it, whatever. Please let us know. Amanda, I got to tell you, if you've not used a Pomodoro technique, my goodness, that is the very best technique I've ever found for focus and for getting things done. Talk about GTD. Because when you can say, like, for instance, I've got this big pile of papers and I think about cleaning it up and I go, I can't possibly do it, but could I do it for 25 minutes? Absolutely. And I don't know about you, Amanda, but I sometimes forget, but I try to actually do that. And if you use the Pomodoro, let me know. When I'm working, I will do that and take those, do those 25-minute sessions, 5-minute break, 25 minutes, and then take your 30. I get so much done. It's unbelievable how much I get done with that. And yeah, absolutely. See, that's the thing. I will do the same thing. I will just sit there for like 2 hours and then I'm just burnt out. Or I don't focus, I'll be doing this and then I'll look over at email and then I'll answer some texts. But if you can spend just 25 minutes on a task and then another 25 minutes, I swear, if you put in like, what is it? You put in 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can put in like 4 good hours of focused work, that's easily as good as 8 to 10 just regular hours, because you'll feel like you really worked. You'll get a lot done. Sometimes I do forget, and I'll just be cranking away doing stuff. So great tip there. Anybody got a pro tip? I'm going to take Pomodoro. Use the Pomodoro technique. That'll be our pro tip this week. Thank you, Amanda. So Pomodoro, go Google it. it's really, though, you could just set a timer on your Apple Watch or whatever, and do 25 minutes at a time. You work for 25 minutes on one task only. Take a 5-minute break, another 25 minutes, and you do several of those, and you take a 30-minute break, and so on and so forth. Excellent strategy, scientifically proven. Actually, a lot of research around it. And then funny stories. Funny stories. I was thinking this one. So funny story, and this is a great example of and this is really, if you've only really done hypnotherapy, you may not realize just how, I know you understand how powerful hypnosis is, but you may not understand how powerful it can be when you're doing like stage or street. And I know a lot of times you may not even be able to believe it's true, but I'm telling you, it's amazing. It's how powerful it can be, and with the right person. And I'll tell you. But the pro tip is to just be mindful of how powerful it can be, because I did some street hypnosis with a gentleman, and I told him that I asked, there was somebody that was out in the audience, and I said, "Hey, is it okay if I use you for something?" And the guy said yes. And so I told the volunteer, I said, "Hey, this guy over here in the white jacket, he's your favorite movie star." And so I bring the guy up, and he immediately just throws up his arms, runs over and grabs the guy and goes, "Mel Gibson, I love you," and picks him up in a bear hug. And the guy's kind of freaking out, and I'm freaking out, and it was funny. I mean, everybody else around was laughing, but really, I mean, the guy could have got hurt, could have been all kinds of problems. So if you're going to do this, I also did the same thing at a grad night party. I said, "I'm your favorite celebrity," and I tell you what, those kids they bum rushed me. I could hardly move, and then I'm like, go away. And so tell them that you have a force field around you or the person, or they're your favorite celebrity, but you can't touch them because there's some kind of a force that keeps you from doing it. Because it's when the suggestions really hit, they are powerful, people, really powerful. So Pomodoro techniques didn't work for Scott, he says, because it took him too long to refocus. Gotcha. And then Terry Cook, he's still fighting, has another surgery coming up, thinking positive, and God will carry through this. Terry, everybody say a prayer for Terry. Keep him in your thoughts. Absolutely, Terry. We're all thinking about you. And you can adjust the timer. Fantastic. All right. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for joining me for another episode of Hypnosis for Hypno News Live. And we will be back next week. Probably Grant will be here too. Every Thursday night, 5 p.m. I don't think we've missed a single week, because even when we miss, one of us can do it, or we have some fabulous, maybe two fabulous people that like Scott and Paul that will jump in and try to be even better and really steal the show. So we don't let them on too much anymore. Every once in a while, we let Sean on. All right. So everybody, thanks so much for watching. Take care. Be well. Be awesome.